Hello, it's Sonia here with the Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today is Wednesday and that means it's the stitch of the week. So for today's stitch I'm using my J hook or 6mm hook. She's a little banged up but still does the job. I think I've had this hook probably for 25 years. So still going strong. She might not look the prettiest but still works. And I'm going to be using number 4 yarn or worsted weight, and I know for sure this is Red Heart Super Saver, you know, the old workhorse yarn, but you could use this stitch with a variety of yarns or hook sizes. And this stitch I'm going to call a mini cluster stitch. I found this stitch in a very old pattern book, and it was for like some baby pants or something, and I just thought this stitch, it was black and white, the photo, you know, kind of grainy, hard to see. So I just wanted to see what the stitch pattern was because it looked interesting even in the fuzzy grainy picture, and I just thought it was an adorable stitch. I just thought it was super cute, and I'm like, I have to feature this one. So I'm going to call a mini cluster because it's just a bunch of mini clusters and it's just super cute. Alright, so to do this stitch pattern you will need to chain a multiple of 3 plus 1. So why don't we chain 13. Alright, so we've got our 13 chains here, so let's get started on row 1. So for this stitch I am going to be working in the back bump. I just find it to be a little bit easier and looks a little bit nicer. Some stitch patterns it doesn't matter how you work in your chain, but this one I think it does matter a little bit. So we are going to be working in the second chain from our hook, and we're going to pull up a loop. So we have 2 loops on our hook. So now we're going to skip the next chain and pull up a loop in the next one. So we have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those guys, and we're going to chain 1. So that's going to create our first little cluster stitch. So now we're going to go right back into the very last chain that we worked right in here. So we're going to pull up a loop. So we have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to skip the next chain and we're going to pull up a loop into the next chain. So we have our 3 loops again, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1. So we're going to repeat that across. We're going to go right back into that last chain we worked, pull up a loop, skip the next chain, insert our hook into the next one. We have 3 loops in our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1. So right back in that last chain, skip the next, pull up a loop in the next 3 loops, pulling through all 3 of those guys, and chain 1. So we're going to skip the next one, or I'm sorry, we're going to work in the last chain, getting ahead of myself, pull up our loop first, skip the next, and then pull up a loop in the next chain. Pull through all 3 of those guys, chain 1. So now we have one more loop on our hook, or a chain, we have one more chain. Yeah, we still have a loop on our hook too. Oh my goodness. And we're going to work a single crochet in our very last chain there to complete row 1. So there are all of our cute little mini clusters. So cute, I think. Alright, we're going to chain 1, turn our work. So we are going to work in this first single crochet, so you're going to insert your hook and pull up a loop. So now you're going to skip your next stitch and you're going to insert your hook into the next one. So as you can see, it can be a little tricky to understand like where the stitches are. So if you do turn it this way, you can see the tops of the stitches, and they are like regular crochet stitches where they're V's. They're a little bit messy looking, but they're definitely V's. So let's, oops, come on, focus. So here is one leg of a V, here's the other leg, there's one right next to it. So don't overthink it. It's really not hard to find the stitches, even though it might look messy. They're really pretty simple to find. Alright, so we're going to skip the next stitch here, so this stitch here, and we're going to insert our hook into the next one, the next V, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through all 3 of those guys, and chain 1. So now we're going to go right back into that stitch we just worked in. So pulling up our loop, skip the next stitch, insert our hook in the next, yarn over, pull through all 3. So this is a very easy stitch. I think super suitable for beginners or somebody that's experienced and just kind of wants a project you can fly through. This would be a really great stitch for that. All right, insert your hook right in that same stitch, pull up a loop, skip the next, insert your hook in the next. So you've got your 3 loops, chain 1, right back in that same stitch, skip the next, yarn over, pull through all 3. So right back in the stitch you worked, pull up a loop. So you have 2 stitches left. So you're going to skip this one, you're going to insert your hook into the last stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those guys, chain 1, and to complete your row you're going to single crochet right back in to that same stitch, and your row 2 is complete. So I just think it's a really cute little cluster stitches there. Just creates our cute little fabric there. Alright, we're going to chain 1, turn our work. So you're going to repeat row 2 for however long you would want your swatch. So I'm going to go, I'll do one more row. So insert my hook in there, pull up a loop, skip the next stitch, insert in the next. So we've got 3, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1. Go right back in that same stitch, pull up our loop, skip the next stitch, insert our hook in the next, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3, chain 1, and away we go down our row. So this one is similar to the previous cluster stitch that I had featured on Stitch of the Week recently, but it's definitely more of an open fabric. The other one is, pretty compact. The stitches are very close together. So this one, you can see through it a little bit, but I still think it would be really a great stitch for a variety of projects like scarves, hats, whatever you want to use it for. So I'm going to work a few more rows. So you're going to repeat row 2 for however long you want your swatch. So I'm going to do a few more rows and I'll meet you back. Okay, so I have 7 rows here of this stitch, so you can really see it emerging. It has a really nice texture to it. I just think it's a really fun stitch, and it's definitely reversible. Looks nice on both sides. So I hope you enjoyed this Stitch of the Week, and I thank you so much for watching.